Alright guys, listen, thanks for clicking on this video, and in return I'm going to give you some value. I got a special episode for you tonight. That's right, listen, I'm in a really good mood and I got a game plan for you. Something is cooking up, right? It seems like some really good big money making opportunities, and I want you guys to have a detailed plan so you can go out and make some money this week. It's going to be really volatile. What stocks am I talking about? Of course, the ES, right? We got the ES Mini, talking about these pendulum swings. I'm going to show you what I think to be one or two of the best setups coming into this week, especially intraday. Tomorrow, we're also going to hop on the Qs. You don't want to miss the Qs. All right, the Qs, you know, they love the Qs, right? And also some gold, talking about gold, because the commodities, let's be honest, the commodities has been doing really good over the past couple of months, past couple of weeks. We got a pullback when traders chase, right? They chase, the market gave it back, but it seems like we're still in a bull market on gold, so you do not want to miss out. I tell you what, I got a game plan ready for you guys. Either way you look at it, this is Coach UV, the unique trading group, and here's where strategy meets mindset and discipline turns into income. You guys stick around, I got a juicy one for you. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Think big, think positive, never show any sign of weakness, always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem. Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
Yeah, but we gotta kill him, motherfucker! We gotta kill him!
All right, folks, excuse me for that language. Listen, the point is, guys, this was a movie, all right, from the 1990s where, of course, you see Eddie Murphy and some other actors, and it was about Wall Street. All right, Wall Street, very intense moment, coming in, telling the guy how to do things and how it works with just a very short variation of things. I'm gonna give you exactly what he meant right here. All right, buy low, sell high, fear, let the other guy deal with that. That's exactly right. And what do we have right in front of you? All right, this is the ES Mini. Okay, this is the futures market. All right, these are going to give you the moves before the SPY. All right, the SPY. Before that happens, this is going to move here. All right, and I want to show you a couple of tricks that I've learned over the years when it comes to trading. All right, some of the same patterns happen all the time, and so while you're watching this, you can either take notes and/or record, or come back and watch it when you have time to really digest what I'm saying. But this is going to be the core game plan that I want to see tomorrow, entry day, all right, on the 17th, and the rest of the week, all right, because I'm going to keep you guys up to date on the moves as it happens, so we can recap what I said would happen and then tell you how we're going to make money in the opposite direction. So right here, what do we have? We have this megaphone pattern, and we have the pendulum swings. And right now, the SPY is struggling, right? The ES is struggling to get over these highs. Now, just looking at this institutional pool, you want to always respect structure. You want to respect market structure. You want to know context, okay? You want to know, are we in a trending market, a ranging market, or are we in a test and retest market? All right, and so it's not really hard to see what we have in front of us. The market has been doing some wild swings. Okay, we have been in a bull market, but it was time for some cooling off, and that's kind of what we've been getting over the past couple of weeks. All right, and so right in front of you, what do we have? We have a market that's below, inside of a range of the previous close. Looks like we want to take price back towards the upside. However, this is what I want you to think about. Now, these two things here, you see the arrow pointing at a pendulum swing. All right, these are pendulum swings where market can go, and in the middle here we have a range of motion. This is here what the point of control is, the POC, the point of control. And what happens is with price, all right, you see human behavior. A lot of folks made some money here and they start partially taking profits, and the market swings within this range back and forth, okay? And our job is to not guess where the market is going to go. Our job is to position before it happens. And so with that said, with what you see, the illustration here, what I want you to think about is right now, what you can't see on a chart is data from banks like the COT report, the commitment of traders. They show you the bank's moves. Are they buying? Are they selling? Are they pulling out of the market? Are they adding to more of the shorts? Are they adding more to buys? They tell you this data. And you want to know where smart money is located. That's where liquidity can get trapped, because they're not knowing where the smart money is, right? And so what does that mean in layman's terms? As you watch this chart in front of you and we talk about smart money and liquidity and what are the banks doing. Now, I won't mention what they're doing right now, but I do know what's going on, all right? And so you guys get the chance to see how to execute trades and how to think about it, even though you don't know the inner workings, because some people think that trading is difficult, and it might be, but a technical pattern, if you're watching this and you're not a beginner, then you're going to understand this. If you're a beginner and you're watching this, you might want to check out my How to Beginners playlist. That link is down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button if you've been getting any value from those who've been watching. All right, you don't want to miss those valuable drops. And if you're new again, check out those beginner links. That way you can get up to date with beginner terms, and even to know what a candlestick is, or even to how to open up a brokerage account. All right, now back to the lesson. The market has dropped a whole lot. We're inside of these pendulum swings, and we have to get above these highs here. Now I see us rejecting around these levels here. All right, 685, 686. All right, if we cannot get above these levels, we will reject inside of this B-shaped volume profile. We have to get above the range of emotion, the point of control, convincingly, to fill these gaps up here within the pendulum swing. Now I do have on Heikinashis. Let's turn on the candlesticks. I think that you guys can actually see the gap a little bit better if we just turn on the candlesticks. So bear with me as I navigate this screen. All right, see, we might be having a little bit of technical difficulties. All right, so all right guys, all right, things happen, all right, but we're going to be patient. We're going to be calm the same way that we do while we're trading. All right, now we're going to get over back to the ES. All right, the ES mini. We have our pendulum swing, our megaphone here, right? Now let's say tomorrow market open and price gets above here, right above our range of emotion. Use the green line, right? There's gaps here towards the upside. Okay. All right, so right here, there are gaps right here to be filled. So this pattern, or jiu-jitsu style, is energy, right? Maybe a double bottom, a place of demand where price is getting bought up at. It simply just means it cannot fall anymore. Buyers and sellers are agreeing on price. All right, where's liquidity? Liquidity is up here, it lives up here, but there's also liquidity down here. But who's in control? You know, the cumulative delta and the order flow. All right, this is the psychology. Remember, we're swinging back and forth, and you want to get in position, and so you want to know the context. So if this happened, this is what I do type of method. All right, if we get above here, you wake up in the morning and we're already above here, more than likely there's a chance that somebody chasing a trap. All right, and the bears have to buy their way out. Price shoots up. All right, remember the Trading Places movie? Buy low, sell high. All right, so if we're buying low, all right, the fear is in between here in this range of emotion, because the market is about human behavior, and there are going to be traders who are trapped, who are trying to scalp or day trade or swing trade in a range of market. They don't know what's going on and they get trapped. So right above here, price gets broken out, and these are where stops lie. Right above here, stops. Okay, people put their stops here. You let the trap in liquidity, let them try once, let them try twice. All right, right above here, price shoots up to fill in these pockets. Okay, just to create, all right, just to create a possible what? Another lower high right within the same area of our pendulum swing, right at this extreme here, right, to come up here to feed these gaps to create a lower high, just to return right back down here within this bottom range of another pendulum swing. You see that? In a range of emotion, all right, because this is where traders are going to chase, not understanding that the move is over once that gap's filled. All right, you guys are with me. This is a possibility if we wake up and price is above these levels here. Remember that. Now, what if we wake up and price is still hovering around here? Okay, you want to think about the downside as well. You don't want to be just biased to the other side. What if price breaks down below here? Now, you want to see price hold on the SPY. It's going to be 677. Right, but for the sake of this video, the ES market right here, okay, just like we had the swings to the upside, all right, and you want to see, let's take off the swing. Now inside of the pendulum swing, what you want to see is on the bottom for a downside setup, all right, we like A plus setups, B plus setups, and C plus, all right, these are all types of setups. I like A plus and B plus, but there's all types of setups and you have to recognize it. Now if we break structure here, right, breaking structure would mean that price would come, okay, break here, come back down and retest the top of the pendulum swing, all right here at another place of demand. That's all it's doing, right, at another place of demand, because price has bounced in here before, okay, just for us to bounce there, all right, and pull back to the bottom of this range. All right, now could we go a little bit further up here, right, inside of this range? Yes, we can, but understand that we are inside of a range, and until we break out, this can possibly happen. Trap traders, all right, but this is a breakout pullback because it's breaking out of this red line, all right, that represents the trend that's being broken. Let's go ahead and make this line here yellow. I want you guys to recognize what I'm saying here. This yellow trend line, all right, if price breaks these red and green candles, just the way this red one broke below that gray, it's breaking. All right, if price breaks below that yellow, it's breaking structure because we have what? We have higher lows. Now, what makes this area a higher low? I'm referencing this area and this area here. And this price is higher than this price here, so it makes this a higher low because this was the previous low. Price bounce, this will be a higher low as well, and this will be a higher low because we never broke below these previous closes once price stopped. All right, and so once we fall back here and break, we're breaking that structure, and price tends to want to come and break down the way we say here. It breaks down, come test one of these zones. If traders chase here and they try, all right, depending on liquidity, right, we bounce back again just to go back to the upside, and/or, right, we break down, come back, and instead of us going up, now we go down. Okay, we start to break down in a downtrend. All right, that's what you want to think about. That's the total opposite. All right, you have to worry about the breakout pullback at the bottom of that zone here. All right, and this would have matched the pendulum swing. Now, why is this significant? Let's bring in the charts, because down here, right here, is where more of the gaps are right here. All right, we have more gaps to the downside that could possibly get filled down here to retest these lows on the ES. All right, now that you know that, all right, I want to take everything off of the screen. I've given you guys some context right now. I don't know if it looks even easier or harder just looking at it now without what I've drawn, but all I know is that if we get that two-legged pullback, right, we get that bigger two-legged pullback, I want to trap in the bears. Let them try once, let them try twice, right here, let them try once, let them try twice. It could be a variation of a double bottom. All right, that's a double bottom, or it could be a V bottom reversal, or it could be a inverse head and shoulders. These are all patterns that exist. All right, W shapes. All right, that's a bullish pattern trapping in the bears. V bottom reversal, a bullish pattern trapping in the bears. And this is also an inverse head and shoulders, a bullish pattern trapping in the bears. What do I mean by bear? People who sell the market to the downside. A bull is somebody who wants it to go up. All right, quick variation. Now with that two-legged pullback, we could get any one of these variations at the bottom. Your job is to recognize the pattern. All right, hope you guys are enjoying so far. Smash that like button if you're getting some really good value, and share this with somebody else who needs to hear this. Let them have a breakthrough moment as well as you. All right, that's what it's about, and these are the moves you're going to be looking for. I like to give scenarios. All right, now right here, let's say this happens. Right above here is where stops lie. All right, and you want to run those stops. All right, run those stops and use these stops as fuel. They're not watching, all right, these videos, all right? Rookies are not watching. They're going to chase the bottom. We don't like chasing. We like technical patterns. We're not picking bottoms, but technical patterns. And these patterns happen before. When you look left, you see that inverse hand of shoulders, right? All right, when you look left, you see that two-legged pullback and price V bottom reversal, all right? You see these patterns. So I'm not making up anything. I want you guys to recognize it. If this happens and you run those stops, all right, and price goes up here, right? All right here, since we have so much bear momentum, what happens is the bulls are trying to front run and go higher, all right? And I understand it again that the bears want to whack this thing back down. And so even though we have a technical bear trap, there's some people still chasing, not remembering that we have our what? Remember, right here is our range of emotion. Right? Remember, I point of control. All right. See, coming back to you. Price could reject here. All right. It's a memory zone just to come back to retest these lows to create what? A higher low. All right. That's a bullish pattern. And this is where you want to buy at, guys. This is where you want to buy at. Okay. You want to buy to ride the momentum back up. You don't want to be chasing. All right. You're taking your profit as we trap in liquidity, recognizing previous zones. We get in right here, and now we want to ride back here towards the top of these prices here when we enter into here. You understand? Hope you guys are understanding this. All right, now let's look at gold real quick. All right, now gold is very interesting. We have a nice swing, all right, a nice slingshot reversal inside of a range of emotion here again. All right, I am looking for gold to do the opposite of the SPY and the ES. So if we do have some fallout on the ES and the SPY, I'm looking for gold to break out again to retest some of these highs. All right, commodity has been getting bought up, and this is the 1 hour time frame. You want to think about context. All right, if the market breaks this trend line here on gold, you want to look for downside pressure to retest some of these lows. But if we get some momentum and we break above this range of emotion here, this point of control, all right, we're going to see a burst of momentum towards the upside to reclaim some of these highs right around 500 for the GLD. All right, that's my answers on gold. All right, the Qs are very similar to last week. All right, now we do have some economic data, and we do have some participation from selective stocks. All right, and so with the Qs, what you want to see is, all right, same as the SPY. All right, we have to get above these metrics here, 615, in order to see some sort of break of structure towards the upside. To gain some momentum, we got to get past 616, 615. All right, right now we have an inverse head and shoulders on the 1 hour on the Qs. All right, there could be some possible intraday momentum towards the upside on the market. Traders who chase, all right, we do have a technical double bottom here. All right, and so there's a gap to be filled within a nice little small risk to reward. See, guys, your risk to reward is right here. Okay, all right, here's your trade. All right, your risk would be below here. All right, I'm going to make that red. All right, and right above in this area here, this will be where you will make your money at. All right, so you'll be taking a nice little trade, understanding where you want to take out your money and not be greedy. That's your money zone. You want to buy calls, trade to the upside or trade to the upside above 606.20 on the Qs and secure some profit by the point of control. All right, there's a possibility that we could continue back down at the momentum spike, so just be wary of that, guys. All right, be wary of the higher low. You got to understand that. Don't forget that lower highs right there. You got to always watch that. All right, if we get a break, all right, understand that the bears are trapped, and what happens is really quickly, all right, you get some news coming out, some data, and we just continue to rally hard. All right, you do not want to be the one on the other side if you're shorting. You want to understand what I'm teaching you, so that way you recognize risk to reward, your best risk to rewards, and your pattern. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and end this with your last stock. I told you guys that I had a stock for you to watch, a special one, and I kept my word, and here we are with the ticker symbol USAR. This is a special one for you. All right, now what I'm looking for specifically tomorrow and the rest of the week, all right, I want to let you guys know specifically what I'm looking for. All right, I need for 21 and 22, 21, 22, and $23 in that range. I need for that to hold demand for me to get serious about buying some calls and trading towards the upside. All right, I need for that to happen. In order for that to happen, we need to see that upside. All right, so above the 21 on the 4 hour. All right, I need to see us get above 21, sustain above 21 convincingly for at least a day before I even go heavy. But tomorrow I want to watch on any stock that I give you tonight. Guys, understand that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a mentor and or coach. All right, seek financial help for professionals. All right, but I want you guys to know that I will not be adding to anything tomorrow really heavily, aggressively, just really watching and taking the trades accordingly, especially with a stock like this, right? Because this is going to be something that I'm going to be swing trading, all right, all the way out to June. So I'm thinking about June calls, all right? June calls, $20, $30, $40 calls. I'm giving it to you now to go check out. Give me some feedback in the comments and tell me what you guys think, all right? Now, there could be some divergence, but I am looking at some orders, and it's really looking really good for USAR. So if we get some momentum above 22, $21 and we convincingly hold above $23, all right, guys, $23, all right, $22.96 to be a little bit precise. If we can hold above that by 1:30 tomorrow, all right, and the rest of the week, all right, PM 4-hour time frame switches, I want to hold and watch this thing shoot up towards $25, $30, and $40. That is what I'm looking for. Hope you guys remember that. All right, I will be recapping these videos. If you have any questions, again, let me know in the comments. I talk back. We love engagement. All right, and I'm going to end that video there. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm Coach UV. Again, the recap: SPY, QQQ. We got gold. We got USAR. Hope you guys ready to make this money. Remember what I talked about, all right? We're going to revisit and we're going to grow together. If you want to join a thriving community and trade with us live so that I can hold your hand and teach you how to fish, all right? Join that community, all right? We trade live together, 8:30 Eastern time. On certain days, it's always scheduled, and we also have a special app that I created for the community. That's right, a trading app that helps you think, not a signal app, but a nice auction insight app that I created based on some things in my book. All right, guys, it's been a really, really good one. I appreciate your time. Smash that like button and share this video with anybody that you think that it possibly could help. It's been a really good ride, and I see you guys in the next one. You stay blessed out there, and remember, always define your entry, your exit, and your risk before every trade. I'm Coach UV. This is the Unique Trading Group, where strategy meets mindset and discipline turns into income.